All right, and we're back with our fireside chats. I'm so excited, Kayla. Another round.
Are you ready?
I'm kind of excited about this topic. I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna be a good one. So this one we're talking about monogamy.
Ooh, hot
Pretty.
topic.
Very hot topic right now, and it's trending everywhere. Not just in the news or in the media, but it's also trending in our millennials dating society, a group that we created, Adventure Self created it, to allow a space where people can come together and talk about different issues that come up in dating nowadays in this generation. And what's funny, Kayla, is I know I just wrote an article about this on Adventure Self, but what's so funny is the reason I wrote that was because 50% of the posts that we've had in just 1 month are all about open relationships, polygamy, kind of just having that idea mindset. What are people thinking about that?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people have this on top of mind, and it's something we're really kind of moving into a new space of maybe accepting non-monogamy in open relationships.
For sure.
So I'm just thinking what we can do is I can ask you a few questions, and we can kind of get your perspective on monogamy, because I know you have some good tidbits to share with people. Let's just start with, have you ever been in a non-monogamous relationship?
Well, funny you should ask. So, I actually am in one now. And, it's kind of a little scary actually even saying this out loud on camera, because I know there's a lot of people that know me and will probably be surprised to find this out. Obviously, Melissa, you know me, right? I've been in monogamous relationships in the past and, had this idea of like what I envisioned as, the perfect relationship. And now I'm just kind of in this phase of my life where I feel like I just don't know what I want, and I'm not really going to know unless I try. So I'm more open to different possibilities than the ones that I've been practicing before. So the long answer to your question is yes, I am currently in one. It's still new, but it's working so far. So I think I might have more of a positive spin on this whole topic than some people might have. But yeah, I'm going through it as we speak.
How did that happen? What triggered you to even be open to that possibility?
That's a great question. Again, it's all about timing, right? Again, those of you who know me know that I just got out of a long-term relationship where, again, I saw this as like, okay, this is where I am. Like, this is going to lead to marriage, and I'm going to get married, and this is going to be my life. And when all of that ended, I kind of started to reevaluate what I wanted in life. And I realized that I was placing too much value in the relationships that I had been in the past, where I was constantly looking for validation, constantly looking for someone to kind of fulfill me. And I started to change the game for myself. I was like, okay, I need to make sure that like I'm secure in myself and that I'm finding all the validation I need from myself. So once I stopped looking from those like around me, I started to become more whole and I guess more open to being in a relationship that doesn't require monogamy, because at that point I don't have like insecurities that need validation from the person that I'm dating. So that's kind of how I was a little more open to it. I said, you know what, like I'm already full. I don't need to know that someone is just mine in order to feel okay. That makes any sense.
No, it does make sense, because that hits on one of the things that I read a lot in like my research when I was writing this, was that the reason that people choose open relationships is because they feel like they don't have to own a person. They don't have ownership over someone else, and that if being with someone else is what makes them happy, that's what they like. That's their priority over them having to just be exclusive with that person.
Yeah. No, and you hit the nail on the head. And I know it's hard for some people to understand, but it really is loving someone enough to not have the need to control them and to allow them to experience the things that make them happy, even if that doesn't include you. That's a hard pill to swallow, right? Because again, we think that when we're in love that we should be this other person's like everything, right? Yeah. Selfish about it. And again, it just like leads to so much pressure and animosity, and just it breeds like a lot of terrible things when it's not dealt with correctly, right? So being able to love in that way is kind of just like a pure way to love, where it's just like, I don't need to impose, control on you. I don't need to rein you in any way. Like I allow you to be you, even if that means that it's not always going to include me. How our ego can get in the way of so much, right? Whether it's in relationships or not, the ego is something that, you know, it drives us to like think with our emotions and to just like not really look at things clearly. But when you're in a non-monogamous relationship, like you need to learn how to control your ego, which is like a huge life lesson to learn, right? It's like empowering and invigorating when you realize, like, wow, like my ego's in check. Like, I don't allow my ego to get in the way. Like I think that's the only way you can make a relationship like that work. Like you need to put your ego aside. You need to learn how to tame that ego. Does that play? There's no way, because you're always going to be like, okay, who is he with? What is he doing? Does he love her more than me? You know, where is this going to go? It's all about me. Keep the ego out of it. Again, you're already being fulfilled and you're just letting that person just be.
Is this the type of relationship that you can have because of the place that you're in your life right now? And is it something that you could do if you were trying to find something serious and settle down with?
That's a great question. And like I said, for myself, speaking personally, like I don't know what I want in life. I don't know what I want 5 years from now. I'm really challenging myself to be present and saying, okay, Kayla, like I'm just living for today and only today. So I don't know personally, but you know, I have met more people and just have talked to more people about this. Some people manage to make it work, you know, and I guess that's the thing too that people need to remember. Like this video is in no way trying to convince anyone to go one way or the other. I think the key is being able to listen to yourself and find the type of relationship that truly works for you. Not the relationship that society is, you know, kind of enforcing on you or your friends or your family or whatever. You know, just find out what works for you, and hopefully you find somebody else that also wants the same thing so you can have that relationship together, right?
Yeah.
So, again, I'm not saying this is going to work for everybody. Some people can get married and do an open relationship. Some people can't. So I guess it just really depends, and you just have to be honest with yourself and really listen, again, to that voice and not that little nagging voice that everyone else kind of enforces on you, you know?
Yeah. No, that's really good points. But getting to the marriage topic, though, that point of conversation, do you feel like you can go into a marriage with this approach?
Again, I think it works for some people. Again, it has to be like this open dialogue of, okay, like this is what I need in a loving relationship, and hopefully it matches what that other person needs too. Because that's the other thing, right? You don't ever want a relationship to be uneven. So even if you're the type of person that's okay being in an open relationship forever, even if that means marriage, if the person you're with like can't really, maybe they can do it for a little bit but can't do it forever, like you need to match like your desires, you know? So I don't know. Again, it works for some people. I don't know if it'll work for me.
And I say that for the same reason, because I think that it's one thing to date multiple people and kind of be free and open in that direction, but it's another thing to start a marriage and walk into it knowing that it's going to be open, you know, now, forever, and always. I feel like that's something I would not necessarily be able to do walking into a marriage. But like you said, it could depend on the kind of person that you marry, or their views and your views of how they align. I think it's one thing to have a marriage 10 years and you're like, you know, maybe you want to spice things up and you want to change the way that your dynamics work to keep it going strong. And then there's another thing to actually walk into it already having that understanding, which I think can be a little scary when you're trying to, some people say, you know, build a family and settle down.
Yeah. And I think a couple things. First thing, and I think people think this a lot, I'm not saying, you know, you're saying this, but I think when people hear like open relationships or, you know, non-monogamy, they sometimes always go to the thought of like, okay, you're just sleeping with anyone and everyone, right? That's not always the case. Again, all relationships have their own thing, but some of it is just like, okay, if somebody comes into your life that intrigues you, you're not going to get in the way of that relationship happening, kind of thing. But it's not to say that every time this person goes out, they're just going to be doing X, Y, and Z, you know? So that's like one part of it to keep in mind. The other part, again, it just all boils down to like open and honest communication. So even if you don't go into the marriage saying, okay, we're going to be in an open relationship, I think it's still valuable to say before you even go down the aisle, like, hey, listen, I don't know if I can commit to you forever and always. I'm not saying I want to be in an open relationship, but are you willing to work with me through the times as our desires and needs change, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, like, again, we're not going to maybe go into it, but you don't want to scare the person either, right? And say, okay, I love you till death do us part. And then 5 years later, you're like, oh, by the way, I kind of want to try something else. And then you're kind of already in the relationship. Like, what if, you know, your partner was like, hey, we never talked about that.
Yeah.
Like, I never signed up for this. So you should at least say something in the beginning. Like, you know, are you willing to grow with me as I, you know, go through different paths? Or are we going to be able to be open with each other if things, you know, change for us? And again, that's the thing about communication, right? Like, you need to have that conversation with that person, with the person that you're seeing, because there's still boundaries, to your point.
Okay, so there is boundaries.
You could be in a relationship, an open relationship, and they can say, hey, listen, like, if you go out and sleep with someone else, that doesn't bother me. But if you're having an emotional connection with someone and you're keeping it from me, that could still be seen as cheating, even though it's an open relationship. You know, like, again, it's just, you need to set those boundaries, because some things will work for some people. And again, it might be reversed for some people, who knows? So there's definitely a fine line. I guess you just really need to talk things out. Me personally, and, you know, I think a lot of girls relate to this as well, it's that emotional relationships. Those are the ones that scare us, right?
Yeah.
Those are the ones
that connecting.
They challenge our ego. That hurts. That one stings. So
sometimes if you're so close-minded about open relationships, you could walk away from somebody that potentially could be your husband. Like, if Jessica Biel had said to Justin Timberlake, no, like, I don't do open relationships, so it's not going to be okay with me, they would have never had a baby or gotten married.
I mean, and not to say, obviously, I'm there, but you know, Melissa, I battled with this for a while when I first met this person. I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is not what I envisioned. I don't know if I really can do it. But again, I was kind of going through this, like, existential, like, who am I? What do I want? Yeah. But even so, I was still scared to try something else. And I mean, I was close to walking away so many times. But again, I just said, okay, like, clearly I'm battling some things internally that I don't know what I want. Yeah. I have something that makes me happy. It's a little different than what I'm used to, but it makes me happy. So let me just focus on the present, day at a time, and we'll see where it goes. And, you know, I have no complaints. And this has been, again, one of the most fulfilling relationships I've been in, which I never, ever would have thought that going in. No one's trying to enforce, like, a lifestyle on you. So it's like, it's harsh when you kind of look at other people and you're like, oh, you're in an open relationship? Oh, how do you do that? Oh, does he really love you? Like, would you like it if someone came up to you and basically, like, you know, made you question all the things about the person that you love? Or make you say, oh, well, I bet your, you know, husband cheats on you all the time and you just don't know about it, you know? There's just so many, like, so much animosity around this topic that people that don't understand tend to just kind of throw shade at people that are involved. And at the end of the day, again, just be open and try to be as non-judgmental as possible. Because again, it's just finding whatever is right for you. Like, for me, it's not going to be right for you, and that's cool. But I'm okay, you know, with you living your life, and that's what makes this world beautiful, because we're all different, right?
Exactly. I could.
Little PSA, like, please be nice to everyone around.
I'm sure a lot of people are going to be really shocked at seeing this video.
I know, I'm, like, sweating a little bit. I just put my whole life on blast.
I feel like a lot of people are going to be reaching out to you after this video, and they're going to have a lot of questions. No,
it's very true. Again, I did this primarily, again, I mean, it's, of course, it's scary as fuck to even say any of this on camera. But I did it because, again, I'm realizing when you're on an opposing side, it's easy for people to judge you and to make you feel like, you know, your lifestyle, like, it isn't right. And again, I just kind of wanted to get out here and just at least share my story so that you can at least understand why somebody might be interested in something like this. And just, again, just be a little more open-minded. Again, whatever works for you, like, that's the point, right? Everyone should find what makes them happy and find the things, you know, that fulfill them. Like you said, Melissa, in a relationship, like, what are your top 3 non-negotiables? Everyone's going to be different. So it's finding the relationship that helps you, you know, reach those needs. But yeah, you know, I just wanted to share this. So ask me any questions you have. Again, I'm a newbie, so I'm still going through this. But if anything, I have a lot of insight, again, as to how both worlds work. And yeah, I'm ready to be open. Just don't be too hard on me.
You're going to get so many questions. I already know it. You're going to get a lot of messages around this. No, I agree, though. I agree with you, Kayla. I think that when you look at divorce rates, 50% of marriages end in divorce, and we have one of the highest divorce rates in the Western culture. And you think about how one of the primary factors for that is infidelity. and you look at what women say about those infidelity in men and women, and most of the times, I don't think they're saying that they're upset that this person cheated on them. I think what they're really saying is that they're upset that this person lied to them about it, that they went behind their back, they did this thing, and they just like hid this whole part of their life from them. And I'm not saying it's the right thing, but I am saying it's something to take into consideration. If there's a way to save marriages, future and present, that consists of being much more open-minded around how your relationship is structured and the way that you feel like you need to be in it, maybe there'll be a lot less divorce rates, because people will be more honest and they'll be able to feel more comfortable when things arise where they're just having challenges through those problems. I'm really excited to see how things happen, and they lay out not to be abused, to say that go sleep with a million people. I don't think that's the point. But yeah, no, this is a good topic. I think we'll definitely make a couple of more follow-up videos on the same topic, and then we'll delve deeper into one piece or another based on what you hear back and what we see in the group for Millennials Dating Society. If you guys want to join that and you're a millennial and you're dating, we can put like a link in this video so that they can click on it, right?
Yeah.
And then
the conversations on there are so amazing, and I love it because we have such an amazing community that I mean, people really are just asking like either personal questions about the relationships that they're in, if they need advice. He said this, what does he mean? Even some other questions like this one that spun this video is, what do you think about open relationships? The conversations there are so amazing. Like, you're missing out if you're not on, because
it's amazing. I'm so impressed. With just under a month, we already have over 700 members, which is insane to me. And everyone there is like, you can see bonds forming already. People, like, they're forming bonds, their support. I got a message the other day from someone on there who told me like he changed something in his relationship because of one of the feedback I gave him.
I love that. That's amazing.
Things like that, and you're just like, wow, like I didn't think twice about it, and here it is, really helping.
We needed something like this, clearly. Right?
There's no group out there right now that is helping like any generation right now go through navigating through these like relationship like ups and downs. So we have each other, but we wanted to really like expand that and help everybody else to do the same thing. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so till the next topic.
Yes, thanks for tuning in, guys.
All right, guys, thanks.